Tonight, California in the crosshairs again, just as some residents trying to dig out after a crippling blizzard. Another snowstorm is on the way. And in Texas, conditions are worsening as they battle a wildfire that's grown to more than 5 times the size of New York City. First, that monster storm on the West Coast, hundreds of cars and trucks trapped in several feet of snow. First responders going vehicle to vehicle to get people out. Road conditions remain extremely hazardous with reports of at least one avalanche. Meanwhile, firefighters in Texas struggle with the biggest wildfire in the state's history. Red flag warnings are up in a dozen states, 14 million under fire weather alerts. Our weather team is following it all, including that new storm in the west and the warm up in the east. Also tonight, the final push to Super Tuesday. Donald Trump hopes to build on recent wins. The Supreme Court poised to rule on whether he can be removed from a state's ballot. And if Trump wins the nomination, would Nikki Haley support him? What she's now saying about the GOP pledge. MaryAlice Parks with the new developments. Pressure is mounting on Israel, with the UN reporting that children are starving in Gaza, saying airdrops from the U.S. and other nations simply are not enough. Israel is defending its military operation. One official insists it's allowed tens of thousands of aid trucks into Gaza. Tom Suvi-Burridge reports from Israel. Growing violence in Haiti, thousands of inmates on the loose after the government says gangs attacked a prison. A big crackdown on Greek life at the University of Maryland. Multiple fraternities and sororities accused of misconduct. What the university is doing as it investigates. The wild scene at an amusement park. Hundreds of young people running through the park. One teen shot by police after officers claim they came under fire. Boeing and Alaska Airlines are being sued after a door plug fell off in mid-flight. 3 passengers are now seeking $1 billion in damages. And history on the hardwood. Another milestone for Lebron James, and Caitlin Clark shoots her way to a new college basketball record.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Lindsay Davis. As we come on the air, that monster storm is bearing down on millions in the West. Blizzard warnings remain in effect. Some areas already buried under 7 feet of snow. More than 70 miles of I-80 remain closed. As many as 300 vehicles were stuck there this weekend. First responders checked car by car, making sure everyone was safe. This morning, an avalanche trapped several vehicles on Highway 50. Some quick-thinking crews were able to get everyone out, but travel is still next to impossible. Our weather team is standing by with the forecast, but first, ABC's Faith Abubey leads us off from Truckee, California.
Tonight, new details of harrowing rescues at the height of the blizzard striking the Sierra Nevada mountains. Authorities say between 200 and 300 vehicles getting stuck along Interstate 80 over Donna Summit Friday night amid blowing snow and wind. Officers going vehicle to vehicle.
We literally had to go one by one to start helping people out to get them off the hill,
including a mother and her baby who ran out of gas. This is part of the I-80 corridor that has been shut down since Friday night. You can see plow trucks have been consistently coming through almost every half hour. But as of this moment, conditions are still not ripe for reopening the road. This morning, an avalanche on Highway 50 trapping multiple vehicles. Luckily, everyone here is okay. Road conditions dicey all weekend, with officials discouraging all mountain travel. Even tow truck drivers like Cordell Greer getting stuck.
I was the rescuer, now I'm going to be the rescued.
This as high winds are fueling dangerous fire conditions in the heartland this weekend. The Smokehouse Creek fire already burning more than 1 million acres in Texas and in Oklahoma. Gusts there could reach 60 miles per hour amid dry conditions. And Lindsay, you can see behind me multiple vehicles still buried in a lot of snow. Here in Truckee, we've gotten between 5 to 7 feet. And there's a race now to clean up from this storm before the next system moves in tomorrow afternoon. Lindsay.
Just adding insult to injury there. Faith, thank you. Let's get right to ABC meteorologist Samara Theodore. Samara, sounds like the West is not out of the woods just yet.
That's right, Lindsay. They're not. What's left of this weekend snow is moving out tonight. And as Faith mentioned, the next round is moving in tomorrow, just in time for the work week. Let's go ahead and time it out. So take a look here. What you're seeing is the rest of this snow starting to taper off through tomorrow morning. The second round then moves in. It's going to be highly concentrated over the northern portion of the Sierra into Oregon, Idaho, and Wyoming. There they could pick up an additional 1 to 2 feet of snow in parts of Northern California, really adding to what they've already seen this past weekend. Meanwhile, out east, things have been pretty quiet. It's been more of a numbers game. St. Louis, Detroit, and Buffalo all in for near record highs tomorrow afternoon. Lindsay?
Enjoying the warmth today, at least, Samara. Thank you. We turn now to the final push ahead of Super Tuesday. Former President Trump is leading in all 15 states where delegates are up for grabs. But former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is hitting the campaign trail, vowing to fight on. ABC's White House correspondent MaryAlice Parks has the latest from Washington.
Tonight, Nikki Haley with a warning about Donald Trump. Just 2 days before Super Tuesday, she was asked if she thought Trump would follow the Constitution should he win the White House again.
I mean, you always want to think someone will, but I don't know. You know, when you go in and you talk about revenge, when you go in and you talk about, you know, vindication, when you go in and you talk about what does that mean?
Trump faces multiple criminal charges for conspiring to overturn the results of the 2020 election. He denies any wrongdoing. Haley now walking away from her pledge to endorse Trump should he become the GOP nominee.
So you're no longer bound by that pledge?
No, I think I'll make what decision I want to make.
Overnight, Trump picking up 2 more wins in the Idaho and Missouri caucuses. On the campaign trail this weekend, Trump barely mentioning Haley, his last remaining GOP primary rival, except to call her names.
She was going around every show, Donald Trump, this and that. That wasn't working too well.
According to a new New York Times Siena poll, Trump holds a 5-point lead ahead of Biden, just out of the margin of error. Haley's lead in the same poll even wider, 10 points in a hypothetical general election matchup. And a majority of voters think the country is heading in the wrong direction, a sign of the challenges ahead for President Biden.
I think the economy at this moment is the absolute worst.
All the essential stuff is going up.
The economy and immigration top of mind for so many voters. MaryAlice Parks joins us now live from Washington. And MaryAlice, we're learning tonight that a major Supreme Court decision could come as soon as tomorrow, just before millions of voters head to the polls in 15 states. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Lindsay, Colorado is one of the states holding its primary on Super Tuesday, but there is still a major question there about Trump's eligibility. The state Supreme Court ruled that Trump should be barred from the race because of his actions around January 6th. So the U.S. Supreme Court likely to weigh in tomorrow, just in time to offer Colorado some clarity, as well as other states. Lindsay?
MaryAlice, many eager to find out how they rule. Our thanks to you. ABC News will have full coverage on Super Tuesday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on ABC News Live. And I'll join David Muir and our powerhouse political team for our coverage on the network starting at 10 p.m. Eastern. Then later in the week, I'll join David and the team on Thursday for President Biden's State of the Union address. Network coverage begins at 9 Eastern. Overseas now, there is mounting pressure for a ceasefire in Gaza. President Biden is pushing for a deal. But tonight, an advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu called Hamas's demands delusional. Earlier, explosions and large plumes of smoke were visible in Gaza as the conflict between Israel and Hamas now approaches its 5th month. And the humanitarian crisis is intensifying. ABC's Tom Soufi-Burridge tonight from Tel Aviv.
Tonight, amid growing desperation in Gaza, Vice President Kamala Harris ramping up the rhetoric, saying Israel must do more to get aid into Gaza and calling for an immediate ceasefire.
And given the immense scale of suffering in Gaza, there must be an immediate ceasefire for at least the next 6 weeks.
The Vice President's pointed remarks coming amid reports more kids in Gaza are dying from a lack of food. A doctor at this hospital saying 15 children have now died of malnutrition. Israel insisting it has to ensure any aid goes directly to people in need.
We have to verify that it is not being stolen by Hamas, which has been happening on a daily basis.
And that's clearly one of your priorities right now, but aren't you putting that ahead of getting aid to people in a desperate situation, innocent people?
As I've noted, Tom, we've enabled thousands, tens of thousands of humanitarian aid trucks to enter Gaza.
The IDF saying it continues to target Hamas. Some Democrats calling on President Biden to up the pressure on Israel.
This is a critical moment where social order is unraveling inside Gaza, and I have both publicly and privately counseled the president to use whatever leverage he has to try to get this long-term ceasefire.
And Lindsay, Vice President Kamala Harris weighing in on those horrific scenes around that convoy of aid trucks in Gaza Thursday, saying, quote, hungry, desperate people were simply trying to secure food for their families, and they were met with gunfire and chaos. Lindsay?
Tom for us in Tel Aviv. Thanks so much, Tom. Many of the families of those missing from Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 are again holding out hope for word about their loved ones. The Malaysian government told those families today that it may reopen the search nearly 10 years after the Boeing 777 vanished from radar. An American company says they have new information that may help locate the wreckage. Inez de la Cuatara joins us now from London with the latest. Inez?
That's right, Lindsay. According to Malaysia's transport minister, American company Ocean Infinity says it has new evidence to find the plane's location. And if that evidence is found to be credible, the Malaysian government may decide to renew its search of the southern Indian Ocean. Now, this comes almost 10 years to the day since the plane went missing, carrying 239 people on board as it headed from Malaysia to Beijing. It's still unclear what happened to the plane, but today some of the victims' families saying they are hopeful a new search will give them closure. One man whose wife was on the plane saying no matter if it's been 10 years, 20 years or more, we will not cease to press for the truth. Lindsay?
Still looking for resolution there, Inez. Thank you. Violence is surging in Haiti. Overnight, gangs attacked the country's largest prison in Port-au-Prince, allowing thousands of inmates to escape into the surrounding downtown area, according to Haitian officials. The prison break comes amid increasing violence in the capital. Police and gangs have clashed in the past week. At least 4 officers have died, along with several gang members. Back here at home, and questions are being raised over a violent traffic stop and arrest in Philadelphia involving a high-ranking city official and her husband. The city's mayor called video of the incident, which quickly began circulating online, very concerning. Details now from ABC's Rena Roy.
Tonight, this alarming video, first reported by our station WPVI, showing part of a violent arrest in Philadelphia that's now being investigated by the DA. A Pennsylvania state trooper wrestling with a man on the side of the road, trying to handcuff him as a woman films. The situation escalating into screaming.
I work for the mayor! I work for the mayor!
After securing the handcuffs on the man, the trooper approaches the woman to detain her, scuffling with her as the camera shakes and falls to the ground. Tonight, Philadelphia Mayor Cheryl Parker calling the video very concerning, saying that the woman is one of her top officials, Executive Director of LGBT Affairs, Selena Morrison. Police say they pulled Morrison's vehicle over around 9 a.m. Saturday after observing multiple violations. A man identified as her husband, Darius McLean, then pulling up behind them. State police saying the husband became verbally combative and refused multiple orders before the trooper moved to handcuff him, saying that Morrison then interfered with the arrest and was taken into custody herself.
Morrison, who filmed the video, has not responded to our requests for comment. Both her and her husband were detained but released. State police say that officer remains on active duty. Lindsay?
Number of questions there, Rena. Thank you. We turn now to the University of Maryland, where officials are taking action to curb fraternity and sorority activity on campus pending an investigation. Officials cited concerns for the safety and well-being of the university community. Details tonight from ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Tonight, an urgent investigation into Greek life at the University of Maryland. The school suspending fraternity and sorority activities, saying it has reason to believe that multiple chapters have been conducting activities that have threatened the safety and well-being of members of the university community. The university not saying what those activities were, but recruitment and all social events with alcohol suspended indefinitely. Chapters also ordered to have absolutely no contact with any new or prospective members.
I was honestly a little surprised.
Some students telling us they're not aware of any safety concerns in UMD's Greek life.
Not here, at least. Not that I've heard around here.
So you've never heard anything about safety concerns?
No.
The school issued an initial warning Thursday, but says additional allegations of misconduct were reported the very next day, prompting the university's cease and desist letter Friday.
Lindsay, the University of Maryland saying tonight that investigation is still ongoing. Into what is still unclear, but UMD in that cease and desist letter reminding students to review the school's code of conduct, specifically hazing policies. Lindsay?
Jay O'Brien for us. Thanks so much, Jay. Now to the history made just before we came on the air. Iowa's Caitlin Clark playing in her last home game in the NCAA, setting the record for most career points by any player, male or female, beating the one set by LSU's Pete Maravich back in 1970. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more on the milestone.
Here's Caitlin on the handoff.
Tonight,
she's 2 points away.
This is your new all-time leading scorer in
college basketball history.
In front of a sold-out crowd, University of Iowa star Caitlin Clark dethroning Pistol Pete Maravich's 54-year-old scoring title, breaking the record with just seconds to go in the first half. The crowd on their feet.
I feel like I'm living in a dream, honestly, Holly, and hopefully I can inspire a lot of young girls to be able to dream to be on stages like this.
Just days ago, Clark outscoring Lynette Woodard for the women's scoring title. Woodard in attendance today. Tonight, Clark making history as Iowa's hometown hero, hailing from Des Moines. As a young girl, her family saying she actually had to join a boys' team because her dad couldn't find a girls' team for her age. Now, her legacy cemented in the history books. Nike unveiling this banner downtown and releasing this ad.
Caitlin!
And look, Lindsay, she is not done yet. Clark will look to add to her career points as Iowa heads into the Big Ten Conference tournament this week. Lindsay?
Congratulations to Caitlin. Morgan, thank you. Tributes tonight for award-winning broadcaster Chris Mortensen. Mortensen joined our sister network ESPN in 1991. He was a regular contributor to the network's NFL programming and to SportsCenter. In 2016, he received the Pro Football Writers of America Award during the Hall of Fame ceremony. Last year, he announced that he had throat cancer and stepped away from his on-air duties. Chris Mortensen was 72. And there's still much more ahead on World News tonight this Sunday, including more history made on the court. LeBron James breaks a new record, and chaos at an amusement park as police trade gunfire with a large crowd. Next tonight, a wild scene at an amusement park near Atlanta. An officer shot and critically wounded a 15-year-old when police responded to a report of an unruly crowd at Six Flags Over Georgia. Police say as many as 600 people were seen running through the park and fighting. Boeing and Alaska Airlines have been hit with another lawsuit over that frightening incident when a door plug blew out while in flight. 3 passengers who were on that flight are now seeking $1 billion in damages. No one was seriously injured when the panel fell off at 16,000 feet over Oregon. But in their lawsuit, the plaintiffs claim they suffered severe mental, emotional, and psychological injuries. 4 other passengers filed a separate lawsuit in January. And when we come back, LeBron James soaring past another milestone. To the index now, and yet another milestone for LeBron James in his Hall of Fame career. With this driving layup last night, he became the first NBA player to surpass 40,000 career points. James was given the game ball and got a standing ovation. When we come back, the road to the Oscars. Nominee Divine Joy Randolph on why she describes her Hollywood journey as a game of chutes and ladders. Finally, she is the breakout star of this award season. Divine Joy Randolph has won every acting award for which she's been nominated for her role in The Holdovers. Now, she's up for an Oscar.
You've described your journey as the game chutes and ladders.
Yes.
How so?
Well, you know, this industry at large, you're not in control. And so you have to find stability within yourself to fortify yourself in your truths, have confidence, and be able to weather the monstrous storm.
Sometimes people, when they say, you know, Mom and Dad, I want to be an actor, and their parents are not supportive at all. But you say your parents have been...
Parents are educators. So me getting a good education, as long as I gave my best, my parents were okay with whatever I did.
You have said you're just beginning. that we
Yeah.
haven't even seen anything
No.
yet. What would you like to do if you can, from your lips to God's ears, your next role? What would you like to show
I
the world?
think the next thing that we will begin tackling is to portray a black opera singer, Leontine Price, as a way of merging two of my gifts together and kind of reclaiming music and singing back for myself. I think that would be quite powerful. Yeah.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Thank you.
The Oscars on ABC next Sunday. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Lindsay Davis. Have a great night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.